What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is December 9th of 2017. Well, folks, I'm finally back here on the Data Dash channel after being gone for about 2 or 3 days. So I do want to start off right off the bat and saying that I apologize for the lack of content or updates here on the Data Dash channel. However, I do want to spend some time today to tell you all where I've been. And I recently had the honor and absolute privilege to go visit the headquarters of one of the few projects in the cryptocurrency space that I'm actually optimistic about. And it is no other than what you can see on the screen and what I talk about a lot on Data Dash. It is Substratum. Now, as many of you know, if you keep up with it, as I said, I've talked about it a lot on the channel. I'm a long-term investor in the project, and I really see it doing well going into 2018. And I recently got an invitation from Justin Tabb, the CEO and founder, to go visit the headquarters out in Ohio. So it was a really awesome opportunity. I want to tell you all about my experience out there, tell you all what I learned a little bit about in regards to the project. But outside of that, I do know that as many of you out there in the Data Dash community are extremely pumped about the Substratum project, as many of you have seen both my interviews with Justin and also my coin coverage video on Substratum. I know that many of you out there don't know a lot about Substratum, so I do want to give you a brief explanation before I dive into my time out there in Ohio, where I went to go see them at their headquarters. So, in a brief summary, trying to keep it short, around 1 minute, Substratum itself is aiming to decentralize the web, or decentralize a big component of the web, which is web hosting. So, let's say, for example, you want to host a website. Well, any given website that you want to host has to go through a web host, such as GoDaddy or Bluehost or the few other ones in the space. Notice how I said a few other. Well, there really aren't too many web hosts out there that are reliable and trustworthy, and because of that, it's a very centralized industry. So being centralized, there's a lot of issues that come with it. First and foremost, the internet's supposed to be something that's very broken up and very decentralized. But with centralized web hosting, you don't have that, and you have a lot of issues that come with that. First is a security issue of the information that you have inside that web host, that one institution. If they get a breach through, information that's vital or needs to be kept secret could be either hacked or stolen or breached in some way. Along with that as well, being centralized, there's less competition, and because of that, costs can go up as well for average everyday people who just want to host a website. But the biggest factor of all with centralized web hosting is the fact that it leaves the internet susceptible to easy censorship. And this is something that not only I, as a person, am morally passionate about fixing, but I know the vast majority of the world sees this as an issue. We might not see it here in the United States, but in countries like China and Iran, internet censorship is the norm. A lot of people there can't visit basic websites such as social media platforms or use certain types of search engines. And it's not far out there stuff that's being blocked by these countries. It's normal everyday stuff that we use. And because of that, it's something that I'm passionate about fixing. And when I found Substratum, I knew I was going to fall in love with the project. So if you don't know about Substratum still, they're trying to decentralize it, and they're going out of their way to try to build a system where instead of it relying on that centralized institution to host all those websites in those big server rooms, we can actually use our own personal computers and run nodes on our computer and help run different websites. So we can store information and help individuals host their websites on the Substratum network, which we can play a role in. Really, at the end of the day, our computers have all the components needed to do exactly what those big, web server rooms do. So it's really, really cool. So that's a brief summary of Substratum. I hope it interests you and stuff. And if it doesn't and stuff, I recommend you go check out the website, read through it, and especially if you're going to invest in it, as I always tell you all with ICOs and different cryptocurrency projects, read the white paper. Read it. I'm not giving any, I'm passionate about the project, but you need to read the white paper before you invest in anything. And Substratum's got a nice, clean white paper where you can just go through, get a great idea of it, and also get a little bit of the technical details. So basically, I went out I went out yesterday and stuff. I flew out to Ohio, and I got to meet a lot of the Substratum team. Now, this isn't the whole team here and everything. I got to meet pretty much everyone there, plus some people who were just either, close associates with the project, as well as family, friends, and coworkers, because they had a big Christmas party. And I'll pull up some photos here so you can see a little bit of the office and see how festive it got, during the winter time. And it was an absolutely fantastic time. They really treated me like family, and it was awesome to meet them face to face, meeting Justin and the rest of the team. And they even had these little Substratum cookies. They're that into the brand and everything. So Substratum definitely made it feel like home and stuff. It was a really good time, and I got to meet a lot of great people. So going more towards, what I really gained out of the project, visiting to see the project, was not only getting to see the office, which is awesome. They've got a whole kind of industrial styled office, but I got to really meet the team, and I got to hear about what they're objectively trying to do and, trying to meet the concept of the decentralized web. And it's not something that's easy, but Justin and his team and stuff were showing me, though of course they didn't show me the source code or anything like that. I wouldn't even know how to read it first and foremost, but I know that they're probably going to keep that secret and, kind of behind closed doors while they're working on it. But the major thing that I got to see was some kind of the conceptual stuff on what they're working on and how they're continuously and rigorously trying to make it a better system, to make the decentralized web have a few core foundations of anonymity when you're running it, so you can have that for security reasons against oppressive governments, and along with that as well, making sure it's streamlined, effective, and make sure that that information is going to be secure and not hackable or, something that people could breach into, much like a centralized institution. So fixing a lot of those core issues and meeting the decentralized web. And I was extremely excited to see some of this stuff because I was really curious as to how they were going to start tackling it. And though I still don't have an absolute full grasp on it, I started to see what they're doing, and it really interests me nonetheless. And I'm glad to see that, for example, if you keep active in the community, they're doing AMAs, they keep active in their Reddit, their Twitter, and they take feedback and criticism, which is key in doing something like this. It's not an easy task, to be fair. It's something that's very ambitious and something that, if potentially launched, will change the way we think of the web. So again, I was really humbled to just be there face to face, seeing the passion behind them, and it seems like they're really tied to it in the moral sense. Now, as many of you know, with a lot of ICOs out there and a lot of cryptocurrency projects, a lot of it is built off of kind of a promise. It's built off this idea and stuff. And an idea, only goes so far. But to see some of that actual progress being put into work is something that is so valuable to me, because now that I've recently gone full-time into DataDash, this was the first time I was actually able to go see a project firsthand, to go see an actual office, see a team, and really see them putting in the effort to make it a reality. They aren't just, making this a one-time thing and saying, oh, yeah, it might happen. No, they're really going for it. They're really delivering on it. And it was really awesome to go out there. Not to mention, something that was really cool when I was out there as well, not to get too sidetracked, was not only did the whole team, know about my YouTube channel and stuff, but along with that, when we had the Christmas party, I got to meet people who were passionate about the Substratum project. And when they saw me, they didn't know me as a neighbor or a fellow classmate or, a fellow coworker as Nicholas Merton. They knew me as DataDash. It was one of the weirdest kind of feelings because I've never actually met someone in person who's just known me off of my YouTube channel. So it was cool to talk with some people out there who came to the Christmas party and talk about different things in the crypto space. And it was, again, it just kind of speaks to the whole community thing. So not to get too sidetracked, I do want to say it was awesome getting to meet all those people. And again, it was awesome to meet the team. So I don't want to get too sidetracked and stuff, guys, but I really recommend you reach out to the community, watch some of the content out there, read through the white paper and check them out. I think personally they're going to do great over the next few years. I'm really excited about Substratum, and I thought I just might as well share with you all about my my kind of experience there. In short summary, I'm more optimistic than ever before on Substratum, and I believe that they're going to do great going into 2018 and hopefully into the future in decentralizing the web. I hope they can do it because I know there's a lot of people in this world who need something like Substratum, and I think we would all like a little more decentralization in the sense of the web. So hopefully they can accomplish Web 3.0 and build the decentralized web, and I'd like to hear what you all think about the project in the comments down below. As always, I'd like to hear your feedback on what I cover on the channel, and then also hear what you all think about Substratum. Are you guys investors in the project? Are you guys passionate about the team there? You like how they're connected to the community? Or do you have some criticism or ideas for the project itself? I know Justin and them are always welcome to take it, so please leave comments down below, reach out to them and all their different channels and stuff. I know they have a huge Slack as well. But anyways, everyone, that's it for the video. Thought I'd give you all a little bit of an update. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.